things you should be doing in January if you're planning to apply to business school in September. So I'm going to go through 10 things, give them to you up front, and then drill deep into them. The first is to prepare for the academics. Second, put the GMAT or GRE behind you. Third, strive for outstanding performance at work. Fourth, be open to new ideas and perspectives. Fifth, consider the impact that you hope to make. Sixth, ask questions and listen to understand. 7, observe and make note of leadership qualities. 8, ask for constructive feedback. 9, journal. And finally, use your time wisely outside of work. Why is it important to get started now? Well, you know what? Every day counts. In fact, everything that you've done since you set foot on college campus, maybe 8 or 10, even more years ago, has counted towards your profile as you're applying to business school. So the first thing that you need to think about is preparing for the academics. If you are not using quantitative skills in your everyday, or perhaps you haven't taken a math class since high school, you might consider taking an incremental course to brush up on the fundamentals of the quantitative coursework that's going to be thrown at you in business. The second thing you need to be thinking about doing is putting the GMAT or GRE behind you. Unless you've been studying for the last several months, you're unlikely to get that done in January. If you are thinking that you're going to just sit down over a weekend and knock out an outstanding GMAT or GRE score, you might want to think again. The third thing that you need to be thinking about is striving for outstanding performance at work, especially if you come from a typical background, being investment banking, consulting, or private equity. You need to be standing head and shoulders above everyone else to be able to stand out. So that means asking for stretch assignments. That means raising your hand for things that others at your level do not do, and performing to the best of your ability. The fourth thing that you need to be thinking about is being open to new ideas and perspectives. In business school, a lot of your learning comes from your peers whose educational and professional backgrounds are different from your own. Take the time now to seek out perspectives that are unfamiliar to you. The fifth thing you need to be thinking about is, what's the impact that you want to make in the world? What role or roles do you see yourself playing, and why does that matter to the world? This is not something that you're necessarily going to come up with over a weekend. So really think hard about, as Stanford asks, what matters most to you and why. 6, ask questions and listen to understand. A lot of your learning is going to come from other people. Practice listening to understand, because that's where you're going to grow as a person and as a professional. The 7th thing that you should be doing is observing and making note of leadership styles. You do not have to be in a formal leadership role to be leading. So look around you. Do you have peers who are leading? Do you have juniors who are doing a great job leading? Maybe your manager is a great leader, or maybe they're a terrible leader. Make note of what you appreciate. Number 8 is ask for constructive feedback. One of the questions that nearly all of the business school recommendations ask your recommenders to respond to is, tell us about a time you've provided this applicant with constructive feedback. How did they respond? Make it a habit of asking for that feedback so you can learn and grow. And then it's going to be easy for your recommender to know what to write about in your recommendation. 9th thing is journal. Go back at the end of each project, write down some notes about the things I just mentioned. What are some things you did well? What are some things you could learn from? What you admire about the people you were working with on a project? What challenges did you face? All of this is the input for potential interview responses and essays that you might write for business school. And finally, use your free time wisely. I know it's hard if you're working a lot of hours to think about contributing in your community or adding value beyond yourself. The thing is that you're competing against people who are using their free time to take a leadership role in a nonprofit or to make an impact in an organization that they were part of in college or in high school. Ideally, how you use your free time should align with the impact you hope to make in the future. Wishing you all the best. Have a great January. You got 7 more months before you're really going to need to buckle down. You might be able to take a vacation in the summer if you get started now.